Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joe Hendy, the Android Authority app guy. It's the end of June, which means it's time for another one of our best apps of the month. First on our list this month is a game called Despicable Me Minion Rush. If there was one thing everyone liked about this movie, it was the minions, and now they have their own game. What's nice is that it's also pretty fun. Upon first glance, one would say that this is just another Temple Run ripoff, and they would be right. Thankfully, Gameloft has added enough additional content to set it apart from all those other Temple Run ripoffs. The games look nice, the cutscenes are fun, and we enjoyed playing the game despite its overused game mechanics. Next up is a live wallpaper called, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Ditalix. This unique and fun wallpaper has literally thousands of permutations and is really one of the most customizable that we've ever seen. Plus, it's one of the few live wallpapers where the settings are actually fun to use. There are a lot of options. You can use squares, hearts, owls, and they even pay an ode to XDA developers. Unfortunately, there are too many settings for us to cover them all here, so if you're into live wallpapers, you should definitely check this one out. Our regular viewers should recognize our next app called Duolingo. It happens to be in our best apps for kids list. This is because it's a great app for kids, but it can also be a great app for adults, especially ones who are looking to learn a second language and don't have the time to take a class. Duolingo is a very easy app to use. Each lesson is set up in a way that allows people to quickly complete lessons so you don't have to sit around tethered to a computer for hours. It also supports a whole bunch of languages. If learning more languages is up your alley, it's worth giving this one a shot. Next up is a unique little app called Floating Notifications. For those who have used or remember Facebook Messenger's chat heads, imagine that the chat head functionality was available for any app that sent notifications, and that's what this app does. Any app that sends notifications can become a floating notification, and instead of dealing with them as you normally would, you can take care of them directly from anywhere. This can be great if you're in a hurry, you don't want to leave an app, or you just like floating notifications. When we did our best keyboards list, we got a lot of flack for not including Google's stock keyboard. There was a reason, and that's because it wasn't out yet when the video was made. Google Keyboard is quite simply the stock Google keyboard from Android Jelly Bean 4.2. That said, it's a solid keyboard with all the features of the stock keyboard. It has trace typing, it has autocorrection, it looks nice, and it's just there and it's solid. The voice dictation was accurate and everything seemed to work fairly well overall. This is definitely a must-have for any vanilla Android fan. Our next app, Quick Social, is for anyone who loves their social networks. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, then pay attention because this app could be for you. It allows people to post updates on all three networks all at once or individually. It is a very simple app. You sign into your various social networks, then you go to your notification bar where you can post to any network at any time. You can also use the Quick Social feature to post to all three all at once. There isn't much there besides that, but it's a powerful tool for heavy social media users. Next up is a very unique app called Sources Pro. This graphics app is a lot of fun if you're into fractals and things like that. You can create custom images with a number of tools that you can tweak over and over again until you get them how you want them. There is a learning curve and it is pretty steep. We had to test this one for quite some time before we got the hang of it, but once you do, it's quite fun to use, especially if you're into creating art. This could be fun for creating quick animations or even background images. While PlayStation, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, and other consoles have perfectly good emulators, Nintendo 64 has been strangely absent. There were a few, but they were usually too broken to work well. Super N64 looks to change all that, and so far it's working. This is far and wide the most stable Nintendo 64 emulator to date. By that, I mean it works most of the time. There are bugs and graphical problems here and there, but that's to be expected since this is an early release. However, despite the errors, it still actually played the games we tested and they performed fairly well. It is free, so no complaints there, and it only looks to get better. For those who somehow don't know, Vine is a new social network that features 6-second videos instead of regular status updates like all the other ones. Is it unique? No, not really, because other sites have done this before. However, Vine now has an Android app and people seem to like it. You can get all the functionality in the app that you need to. You can check out what's trending, individual posts, your activity, your profile, and pretty much everything else. Yes, you can even create and post Vines from your device. Not gonna lie, it was kind of fun. And a recent update now lets you use your front-facing camera. Disney has a number of games based on their hit game called Where's My Water. This one is called Where's My Mickey, and it's essentially the same game mechanics except for you're trying to get Mickey some water so he can do a bunch of different things. For those who don't know, here's how it works. Each level has a finite amount of water. You must dig paths through the dirt to collect stars and get the water to Mickey. It can be surprisingly tricky, but nothing that's overly difficult. Is it fun? Oh yeah, and who doesn't like Mickey Mouse? If you take a look at ye old leaderboard board, you can see how these new apps stack up against one another. Keep in mind that these are not how we rated them, but how you, the people, have rated them in the Google Play Store. If you want to check them out, the app links are in the video description. We try to keep these end of the month lists even with games and functional apps. Usually games kind of rule the list, and it was nice to see some good functionality apps make their way to the top this month, especially useful ones like Quick Social and floating notifications. There are thousands of apps released every month, so there's every possibility that we may have missed a good one. If we did and you want to talk about it, leave us a comment and let us know. Once again, I'm Joe Hendy, the Android Authority app guy. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the written version of this article and the social media links in the video description.